Craftsmanship is very important to us as it's an element of sustainability. So when we talk about sustainable fashion, we talk about accepting the value of crafts that we kind of forgot the last almost 20 years as the production shifted to the third countries. And we started buying craftsmanship clothes for as little as 10 and 15 euros. And we lost the value because they were actually modern slavery production or exploitation, let's say. And we lost the value and the connection with crafts. So you're doing a lot on that sector.
First of all, thank you for the invitation. I will try to explain why and how the Ministry of Culture, of all ministries actually in a country, has been involved in things that are connected to your discussion today. The Ministry of Culture traditionally viewed craft and craftsmanship as an element that was part of, let's say, the intangible heritage of the country and had to do with the past, not the present, and it had to do with something that you would put in a display, in a museum display. Something that belonged to our grandparents or great-grandparents or even before that. My portfolio is called, I'm responsible for what is called the contemporary culture. So essentially is for current production of culture, but also what we define as culture, performing arts, visual arts, literature, audiovisual, so on and so forth. But we incorporated also the creative industries in this portfolio, which were a bit, let's say, orphans in terms of policy making. One of the things we decided we wanted to do is to revive craft. As Fiori, as Mr. Firipou said, craft, although it has a millennia-long tradition in Greece, if you think back to weaving, to the stories of Penelope waiting for Odysseus in Odyssey of Homer, you know, and she was weaving every day, and then she was unweaving every night. And or if you think about Greek pottery, there is this tradition in this country, but it has been neglected. And also, even in the past years, the initiatives that were that took place from the central government were more about production rather than entrepreneurship. So we said we want to revive and reposition at the same time Greek craft. This led us in this journey that we have embarked in the last 2 years and it has to do with discovering the opportunities and also the challenges that this sector is facing in the country. What we have discovered is that unless you deal with every single part of the chain of craft, including raw material, including how this raw material is being processed, and including labor issues, we will not be able to have a concrete craft policy and strategy. This has led us to a strategy beyond the typical borders of the Ministry of Culture. And now we have established partnerships with the Ministry of Agriculture, with the Ministry of Development, both on raw materials and also their processing. To give you a quick example, until now, most people that have, you know, that are, they have sheep and they have herds of sheep all over Greece, they dump the wool. They either burn it, so they add to the pollution, or they dump it, and then they actually add, or they shift the burden to the municipalities, because the municipalities then they have to go and unload this, you know, garbage, and actually they add to the pollution again. Now we're trying to give incentives to these people to actually use this wool. However, sometimes the wool that these sheep have is not appropriate for weaving. because it's not the right, the right quality or the right, it doesn't have the right characteristics. So we go even one step back, and now in collaboration with universities, we're trying to engineer appropriate kind of breeds that can go back to the old types of like endemic herds of sheep that we had in Greece, and then we abandoned them because it didn't provide enough milk or meat, so that we can have again the right kind of wool. So that is to give you just a short example of how deep one has to go if one needs to actually deal with this issue in a holistic manner. But on the other hand, we realized that unless we did that, and unless we went down that road, whatever we would do in the craft field would not be adequate, or would even lead to the wrong direction.